Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you once again for tuning in for a very special show this week, as this week we're celebrating our 100th episode. Also in this week's show we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel in order for spirit to bring their communications and wisdom through. And then also in this week's show we have the forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So as I say, this episode is a very special one as we're celebrating our 100th episode. And so we're going to be talking roughly about what we've been doing in the show over the course of the last couple of years. We're also going to be discussing the highlights of the shows and also the origins of the shows, and actually the origins of how all of this started. So let's start at the very beginning. That's a very good place to start, as they say. So for me, how all this came to be is I want to take this right back to when I was in my childhood, and me and my sister, we was always larking about, having fun, entertaining ourselves. And back in the day, there wasn't any internet. There was nothing like that. There was no mobile phones. And so we used to entertain ourselves by having a ghetto blaster or a double tape deck recorder. And what we would do is we would perform radio shows. So we do little skits, maybe comedy sketches. My sister would do some singing, and whilst dancing, I would do some jokes. And then we would get my mum and dad on it and interview them. And we used to have some right good fun doing it. But back then it was just fun. You know, I never realized that I'd be doing this. Doing my own radio show, not in a million years. It was just fun back then. And so on many levels, I would say, if we look at this from a spiritual angle, my soul must have known on some level that I needed to go through that experience, having fun, creating media and bringing that forward. And so that's what we did. And my sister, bless her, she went on to be a performing singer. Also, she worked in the holiday parks there. She's amazing how much she has changed over the years. But why this makes it very relevant is because both of me and my sister, back then, we were both very shy individuals. We wouldn't say boo to a goose. We're the sort of people that if your parents said, come on, we're going to take you to the fair, there you go, what ride do you want to go on? And we'd both be like, no, I don't want to go on that. No, I don't want to go on any of them. We wouldn't. We'd be so shy and timid. And so for both my sister and myself to be communicating to the public and singing, performing, and also doing radio shows and things like that, is it's like a complete 360. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because on some level, on a soul level maybe, back then when we were younger, maybe we needed to go through that in order to give us a bit of a taster, to bring that fun element into it, and to allow us to express ourselves in a way that we did even back then when we were young children. But having said that, throughout the years growing up, I've always felt that information wanted to come through me at some stage. I didn't know how, the wheres, the whys, the whens, the whats. However, it's took me many years to build up my confidence. It's took me many years to actually step out of the way, blend with spirit and communicate with spirit and actually take ownership of a spiritual lifestyle, because as you probably heard me say on here many times before, it's been a very interesting journey for me on my life path, to one where I eventually held my hands up and said, okay, what would you like me to do? And I'm referring to communicating with spirit there. And once I accepted that this is who I am, this is part of my life path, and I got out of the way and I listened, then all of these inspirations started to come in. And it was always done on an incremental level. So if there was to give me too much too soon, I would have been overwhelmed. I would have put the brakes on and said, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm too shy. I'm not comfortable in doing that. And so spirit being spirit, they can see the entire journey. They can see the entire path, and they know the path of least resistance. So why I bring this up is I feel that this ability, shall we say, or acceptance to communicate information with others, such as yourselves that are listening, it's not just been an overnight thing for me. It's been an unfoldment over the course of my life where this confidence has matured, it's built up. I've obviously gained some life lessons along the way, which has helped when it comes to relating to the information that spirit bring through and they want me to talk about. I can empathize with people because I've obviously been through similar circumstances there as well. So it's been very much of a valued and appreciated journey in my life so far. And I can see where I'm at in my life now, why it has unfolded the way that it has. So I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, moving beyond that, the inspiration for this show, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, it all started really with, I would say I was doing online talks, like online live video chats. And initially it started off just catching up with everybody, seeing how everybody was doing. And then people would start to interject. They felt comfortable in that environment, and they started to bring up various subject matters, and which we would discuss live on a live feed on social media in some depth. And it was, from their feedback, it was helping them have a greater understanding of the subject matter that they were inquiring about, and also where they was at in their life. And it helped them to feel comfortable in being vulnerable, in opening up. And in doing so, I also felt more comfortable in opening up and being vulnerable and sharing the knowledge that Spirit wanted to come through me. And so this is the starting, I would say, of this very radio show, From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. It gave me that confidence, and it brought that sort of light bulb moment of inspiration in my mind where I thought, well, actually, this could be put into a format, in the format of a radio show where we can go into some depth with some of the subjects, and we can pull them apart, and with the view of helping people. Now, also, as you know, I'm a spiritual medium as well, so I do work with spirit on a daily basis, and I do take that time out to listen for the inspiration. And usually it's when you're least busy. Maybe you've got the TV on in the background, or you're taking time out, your brain's just on holiday, and then that's when the inspiration for various episodes, well, all of the episodes come in. And so as soon as they come in, I just hear a title, and I quickly jot that title down, and then I get a little bit more information about what that show title involves, and then that is it. And so I log all of that information, and then I work on it upon the time being right to do so, to make it into a full-length episode for a radio show, for one of our shows here on From Beyond. But also, as you know, I do enjoy the paranormal, and I go on paranormal investigations. I do house cleansing, house clearing as well, energetically wise, and also any untoward spirits or spirits that are lost or trapped. And so I do that level of work there as well. So I thought it would be very interesting to delve deep in some of the encounters that I've experienced and share that knowledge base with you all. And also some of the techniques that I were inspired to use by my spirit guides in order to help those situations in the home or in a paranormal investigation run a little bit more smoothly. And so with having that, the inspiration to talk on a paranormal level within the show came from that. And so with this catalogue of knowledge, I, again, along with the influence of my spirit team, felt very guided to speak up about this and share those encounters. And in actual fact, although the word paranormal is banded around this sort of work that we do, for me personally, I consider it to be very normal. Maybe that's a new heading for it. It's very normal. Because for me, it happens on a daily basis. And yes, you do get the odd surprise now and again, but it's nothing that you can't handle. And I find that spirit bring these encounters in. If you can handle it, they'll bring it in, and they'll bring the experiences so that you can grow, develop, and also they don't want to intimidate or scare you. Obviously, it's all there for your growth and your betterment and for you to help others with these encounters. So for me, yeah, it felt very, very obvious to talk about the paranormal world, or the very normal world, as I like to term it now, and offer that guidance and experience for you listeners to take on board and maybe use in your investigations or anything of a personal nature in your home or work environment. And you can actually look at it from a more sort of less fearful frame of mind, and have that confidence when you do encounter these things, but also have that playful curiosity as you explore further. And obviously, as you know, I do channeling as well. And this is something I've done for many, many years now. And again, that hasn't come overnight. That's taken lots of years in development circles, transmediumship circles as well, and building up that discipline and that trust level with spirit there, and allowing yourself to be a vessel, to be open, and for spirit to blend their frequencies with you in order to bring forward these transmissions. So again, I always ask permission from my guides, would you like me to include channeling into the show? And they said, yes, of course, we would love to do that. And with their express permission, I then set about making that part of the segment of every episode. And as you've all heard, in fact, you'll hear it later on in this show, this is where I set aside time and I just allow spirit to blend, and they have the floor, basically. All I ask is I set an intention before going into that trance session for wisdom for any of the listeners, what they need to know at this moment in time that can be helpful, healing and guiding. And as you've heard in the episodes, that's what they bring through. And so bless them. There's been many different communicators, as you've heard, that have come through. And as ever, I'm overwhelmed when they do come through. I have no knowledge of the information that they share during the time that the channeling comes through. And so upon producing the show and listening back to it, I'm as excited as potentially you listeners are for what's going to come through this week. And some of the inspirations and information that they share is very on point. I really do enjoy that part of the show there as well. But also, as you know, I do a forecast reading every week, as I've mentioned at the beginning of this episode, and that's included in every episode. And again, this is something that hasn't happened overnight. I've been doing this for many years now, where again, I was encouraged by Spirit to help people through some trying and testing times that we've all been going through. I would say that the past 4 or 5 years. And upon their instruction, every week, as you know, I sit and I bring forward the weekly forecast reading. And the intention of that is to help as many people as possible. And so, again, I asked for Spirit's permission. Would you like me to include that into the weekly radio show? And they said, yes, of course, of course. And so that's why it's there in the show. It's there to help and guide you and support you ahead of your week unfolding, just to give you that correspondence and that reassurance there. So that's how the show evolved. And then, as fate would have it, Pulse Talk Radio. I was directed in the direction of Pulse Talk Radio. And so with that connection there with Pulse Talk Radio, they were very kind enough to agree to have a slot available for the show every week. And so with that, I was very excited and very grateful for that opportunity. So with that, every week we agree I produce a show for Pulse Talk Radio, and I feel very honoured to be part of that family. A very worthwhile radio online station there as well, because it's full of like-minded hosts, listeners there as well. It's more than just an online radio show. To me, I feel it's more of a community of like-minded souls there that have that inquiring mind into the paranormal or very normal and spiritual and self-help endeavours there. So it felt very fitting, and I felt very honoured to be given a slot there on this very channel. So thank you. A big shout out to everybody at Pulse Talk Radio. So moving on as well, what I found, and I hope you as listeners have found during the course of these shows being aired on Pulse Talk Radio, that there's been a level of spiritual growth that has unfolded. For me personally, I feel there has. There's been a level of confidence, certainly, that has expanded with myself doing these shows and communicating openly, and also, blending with spirit, allowing them to bring forward their wisdom. So to me, there's been a lot of spiritual development in my own personal life. And I do hope, this is what my guides have told me, that within the vibration, the tonal quality, the frequency within the voice, within my voice, and within the spirit communicator's voice that have been coming through every week, there is a level of healing and some high vibrational frequency codes that are in those frequencies. So their spirit have told me, those people that listen to it and feel that vibration there, they will be receiving some spiritual downloads and ascension codes there. So hopefully all you listeners that have been following and listening every week will be benefiting from absorbing those spiritual downloads there. So yes, definitely. But also to roll it back a little bit, how these episodes unfold is the subject matter. Like I say, quite randomly, I'm given the subject matter, and I'm given a little bit of information about that subject matter, nothing much, maybe 2 or 3 words to add on to it. And then before the show starts, I'll go into meditation. I'll come out of that meditation, and then I'll go over to those notes for that show episode, and then I'll pick up a pen and pad, and I'll write bullet notes around those elements within that show topic. And again, spirit bring it forward, these bullet notes, I'll write them down. And upon recording each and every episode, I have the bullet notes in front of me. And I use this as a bit of a cue card, if you like. And so it keeps the episodes on path, on track there. And what I do is as soon as I start talking, I feel the presence of spirit drawing in, blending with my energy, and they help to bring forward the information. And I just move out of the way, and almost as if I'm channeling, but I know I'm not channeling, but I'm allowing the information to form through me from spirit there. And so this is how the episodes unfold. It's a very spiritual process, one with respect, love, and also dedication that I do in every single episode that I record. So that this is part of the process. But I thought I would also share some of the episodes that we've spoken about, over the last couple of years. So we've spoken about topics such as energy. We've spoken about the bigger picture, spirits in the home, detecting spirit, knowing thyself. We've also had one of the projects that I'm involved with called Universal Alchemy, where we create spiritual music. We've had interviews with the other members of that and showcasing some of our music on one of the episodes. We've also been talking about manifesting, your calling, divine timing as well, unplugging from the matrix, healing, time travel. We've spoken about owning your own truth. We've also spoken about the unseen world around us. Easy meditation, where I took you into a very, as the title would suggest, easy meditation for us all to get involved with. And that was on one of the episodes there. Honoring your sensitivity, we've spoken about that. Spirit communication, we've spoken about that there. Investigating the unknown as well, so paranormal work. We've delved deep into that. We've also spoken about paranormal adventures, some of the exploits that have had the opportunity to experience there, the thinning of the veil, and how to spot some of these elements when the veil is thinning there. We've spoken about absolutely all sorts of topics there under the self-help, spiritual development and paranormal or very normal umbrella there. Falling from grace. Maybe it's because I'm a wanderer. The list goes on. The world of the unseen. We've spoken about that. We've even delved deep into portals there. Choices, psychic art. We've spoken about that. We've also spoken about visual anomalies there as well. Life's an inside job. Spiritual tools. Spirit art everywhere. We've covered quite a few bases with the topics that we've that we've brought through in previous episodes. And if you've missed out on those episodes, don't worry, because on my website I have all the episodes on there for you to listen back to and download at your leisure. And just to remind you, my website is www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com. And if you go over to the website and click on the radio tab, this is where you can listen to all of the previous episodes, the topics that I've just quoted out to you. All of those are on there. So please do have a catch up if any of them resonate with you. And I hope that you find value and meaning in the episode of your choice that you listen to. So that is there. But also something that I feel very honoured and grateful is that one of the co-hosts, and this was an inspired idea from Spirit again, that once a month a co-host who her name is Christina Bloom, all the way from Wisconsin in the United States of America. And Christina is also a spiritual medium. She's an author as well, and she's a radio host herself as well there. And we have quite a lot in common between the two of us. And so we decided that once a month we would have a catch-up and put it into the format of a show. And so this is how that episode once a month came into form. And what we do is, as you've probably heard, we talk about lots of different spiritual content. We talk about paranormal encounters, that how it differs from the USA to the UK, and the sort of venues that are available both in the USA and the UK. And we just delve a little bit deeper. And it's, if anybody's heard any of those shows that I do with Christina, they're very interesting. I really enjoy that interaction that we have there as well. And in fact, one of the previous episodes, again, it was inspired by Spirit. We felt the calling to actually do an episode, because Christina is also a channeler of Spirit, that we were to take it in turns to channel, and then the other host would ask that Spirit communicator questions. And so we set about doing that on one of the previous episodes, and it was very interesting to observe how Christina works with her guides and how she prepares for trance mediumship. And then that worked the opposite way, where I went into trance and Christina asked the spiritual, shall we say, communicators questions there as well. So we both really enjoyed that episode. And of course, when we're channeling, we have no recollection of any of that information. So when we both listened to that episode back, we found it incredibly fascinating for the answers that came through from Spirit. And this is something that I feel potentially moving forward with From Beyond, with Glenn Boddice, and also when we do the episode with Christina Bloom, that we'll certainly revisit that idea again to both take it in turns to channel. But what we would like is if there's anybody out there listening that has any particular questions that they want answering, that they want Spirit to answer for them, any in-depth questions, and please feel free to get in touch with the show and bring forward those questions, because we will certainly put that forward to Spirit when we do another session of channeling together there. But yes, it feels very, very blessed actually to connect both stateside and the UK together with those once a month episodes that Christina Bloom and myself do. And we have so much fun putting them together. In actual fact, before we do the show, we have behind the scenes, we have such fun, such laughter, and sharing and trading stories there. And some of the stories, obviously, they make the show. Some don't. Some are a little bit too risque for young ears to hear. But nevertheless, we have a lot of fun doing that. But in terms of the show moving forward, definitely it's going to continue, obviously. And again, like I've said, I'd love to have more interaction with all of you as listeners. So if you do have any particular questions about any of the spiritual self-help or paranormal/very normal questions that you would like answering, or maybe discussing in some depth in an episode, then please do get in touch. First of all, it would be absolutely incredible to have that interaction with you all in doing so, and building that bridge between content provider and listener there, and so that we're working more together as a team. That would be incredible. But also it'd be really good to help you with any of the queries that you do have. So that's something I'd like to introduce more into the show moving forward. And also more in-depth, I would say, show topics, delving deep maybe into some of the taboo ends of the paranormal or /very normal, and discussing that in some depth to give us all that knowledge base, and to hear obviously what Spirit have to say about it and what they feel we should be doing. So that's going to be in future episodes, definitely. And also, obviously, the channelings, that is entirely up to Spirit. Whatever wants to come through. Like I said earlier, upon recording those channelings, prior to doing them, I go into a meditation state, and then I prepare myself for that vibration to blend. But I set that intention for whatever information that the listeners need to know, need to hear, and would benefit from. And I say that before recording each episode's channeling. And so I leave it up to Spirit, because they see the bigger picture. They know what everybody, the collective that's listening, will need to know at that moment in time. And so it's very much in their hands. Having said that, I would say predominantly 90% of the show content is very much in Spirit's hands. All I am is I'm just a vessel for them to bring that communication and wisdom through, which I feel very honoured that I've been selected to perform or do that role for them on their behalf. And so I produce the show, obviously, record the show, but it's all down to Spirit. And I want to personally thank Spirit, my Spirit guides, the Spirit team, the communicators from Spirit that take that time to blend their frequencies and come forward with their wisdom. I want to send that love and that thanks and gratitude to them, because without them, none of this could be taking place within the show. And obviously also the information they bring forward for the weekly forecast reading, because they see the bigger picture and they bring forward that information too. But also I would like to extend my huge thanks to Pulse Talk Radio for allowing this show to be on their airwaves, to be given a time slot every week. And I feel very honoured that they place that up there, they share that, and they give this platform for Spirit on their airwaves. So thank you, Pulse Talk Radio. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So anyway, thank you all as listeners for tuning in every week. And thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for supporting it. I do hope, like I say, the information helps you in some way, shape or form on your spiritual path and your journey, whether that is in self-help, spiritual development, or indeed the paranormal world there as well. So thank you everybody so much. Here's to the next 100 episodes. This has been the 100th episode of From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, and I look forward to recording more with you. Well, we're now going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel in order for spirit to bring their communications and wisdom through. And it will be particularly interesting to hear what spirit have to say, with this being the 100th episode of From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. So I'm looking forward to, like yourselves, what they have to say on the matter there. And again, as you know, I say it every time, don't I? But I really do look forward to this part of the show where I have no clue what's about to come forward until I listen to it with you in the show there. And again, it's always nice to hear different communicators taking that leap of faith, blending their frequency in order to come forward and share not only their vibration, their love, their healing, but that wisdom also as they do that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of spirit.
Isn't it marvelous the way that we can all communicate with one another through either telepathy, thought, email, whether that be messages or phone conversations or in person? We find it absolutely incredible. And we want to talk to you about another way that you can communicate on a stronger level, more stronger than you can ever imagine. And that is, we've already mentioned it, telepathy, thought vibration. As you know, it's all energy, it's all information. A bit similar to the internet. It's all information, it's out there. And as we've said before, you are all transmitters and receivers of information. So we want to tell you about the technology that's been around for eons of time, but has been slowly drummed out of you, and that is the thought vibration. So it will pay you to be mindful of your thoughts, to be more productive with your thoughts instead of allowing your brain to noodle over rubbish and inconsequential information that makes no sense or no benefit for anyone. Instead, we want you to use this magnificent power that you have within you to communicate exactly how you're feeling and also what you're thinking and your thoughts. We want you to communicate them and deliver those packets of information through the vibration of thought and thinking. And the way that you do this is by, first of all, by policing your thoughts, only having the most purest of intentions when you're wanting to communicate with an individual through the vibration of thought energy. What we would describe this process as is similar to when you would want to send somebody a message. You would get their vibration, wouldn't you? You'd type in their address or their phone number or their profile. Well, it's very similar technique, except this time we want you to think of that person, visualize them in your mind's eye, hold their frequency in your heart, and think of them and hold that vibration. And then when you have that link and that vibration, it's on this level that you send that thought message vibration to them. And the way that you do that is you think of the information you want to exchange to them, and then you simply release it out into the ether. And what you will find when you do release this thought out into the ether, particularly when you're more conscious about doing it, is you'll feel this lightness at the top of your head, your crown chakra. You'll feel this lightness being emitted out of the top of your crown chakra. And you'll feel it will feel very contented as you do that. You'll feel very contented in the fact that you've felt this release by letting that thought go, and know that it's going to be sent to the sender as you are focusing and holding that link with the sender. And then simply allow it to go. And just watch this space. Watch yourself having thoughts about that individual, the most random times of the day, and then an alternative thought being sent back to you. Or you may experience a feeling in your heart and emotions. And then again you will be thinking of that person that you initially sent that information to. You'll get an image of them, a feeling of their presence around you. Even though in the physical sense of the terms, they are simply not there. But their vibrational link, however, has made that connection with you, just as you have with them. So this is an unspoken technology that's been pushed behind, and we would like to encourage you to maybe take the opportunity to be very mindful but also playful with this technology so that you can get used to using it again. Because there will come a time when the technologies that you rely upon will have glitches, will have issues, we won't be as stable as what you may consider them to be, and the way that you've relied on them so heavily over these past 10 years or so. So we want to get you back into using this technology. There's many tribes, there's many civilizations that have used this technology all over the globe, all over the world for many, many, many years. And technologies and informations have been exchanged. Also, this would also add to the energy grid around the world. When you align with certain ley lines and you make that connection, it helps this level of telepathy also to travel far and wide and be more directable to where it is intended to be. Also, sacred sites were used in this manner as well to bring forward and send and receive information on this level. So it's been used for an ancient technology that's been used for many, many years, and we would like you to get used to using it. In fact, there's a lot of what you would describe as intergalactic or alien races that use this form of technology to make their communications known and felt. They do not have the apparatus such as vocal cords or mouths in order to communicate like you take for granted. So instead they use the thought vibration, and they use this technology we're describing to send the thought to whoever they wish to communicate with, holding their link, holding their vibration in their presence, and then sending that information over. It's a very commonly used technology throughout the spiritual world. As you know, when your family or loved ones in the world of spirit are drawing close to you, many of you have experienced having a repetitive song in your mind for quite a period of time, and you can't understand why. You haven't heard that song for absolutely years yourself, and yet it's playing in your head as clear as the day that you heard it. And we say that this is the ability of telepathy, the fact that your loved ones are sending you a message to you in this form, and it's your responsibility to acknowledge that message by unpicking it, understanding it more. Also, a lot of you have experienced thinking of a loved one in spirit at a certain random moment in your life. Why do you think that you're thinking that way in that random moment? There's no such thing as coincidences. This is simply your loved ones working on your thought vibration and sending that link and that communication to you to let you know that they are in your auric field, they're in your vicinity, bringing their love and healing, and they want you to know that they're safe and also that you are safe, as this is their message. So you see, this technology is being used all the time, and yet you bend it as a coincidence. Oh, that's a coincidence. I was only thinking about you yesterday. Oh, I was thinking about you yesterday as well. Well, this is that technology we're describing. So our message to you today is to give it some thought, give it some time, give it some attention, and with continued usage and practice, you too will be proficient once more in using this level of technology to make your communications heard, felt, and seen on a deeper level than anything you've ever encountered before in your life. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I'm going to pass you over to another communicator who wishes to share some more wisdom with you. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye for now. Do you know what? I'd like to, excuse me, do you know what? I'd like to come in and talk to you about love. And I've spoken on many great lengths about this topic before. Now, love, as you know, is another form of communication. And it is also the energy that's binding the universe together. It's the invisible glue that holds it all together. It's not necessarily a true emotion, as you are led to believe, that love is a connection, a relationship and all that. Yes, it's involved in that, in a relationship, in friendships, in family circles, of course it is. But it actually goes deeper than that. It's connecting everything and everyone. This includes inanimate objects, places, animals. You're all connected by this invisible force of love. And so we want to help you to consider looking at this topic of love in a different light than you have been led to believe. Many of you see the word love and instantly the image of a heart, a red heart, appears in your head, or a pink heart. And that's fine, that's great, that is a symbolism of that. But we want you to take it a little bit further and actually feel into the word of love. In fact, I'm going to say it slowly now. And I want you to feel into the vibrations behind the actual word, okay? So I'm going to say it slowly. I want you to feel into this word. Ready? Love. 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 Those of you that were feeling into that word would have felt a lightness around your physicality and your energetic body. You may have experienced a tingling sensation in your heart chakra and a removal of density from your vibration. The reason why I'm talking about this is at any moment in time when you are feeling down in the dumps or a little bit lethargic or whatever, you're out of alignment, then this is a technique that you can use by stating the word love and saying it slowly like that. Not just listening with the physical ears, but feeling the emotion, the frequency behind the word. You will notice that it will shift your vibration to that of a higher nature, and it will let you know, it will be a reminder that you are connected to everything and everyone. And nothing is out of your reach once you get into alignment with it. So maybe consider that the next time you're feeling stuck in a rut or frustrated or carrying lots of emotional burdens and baggages. Use this love. Feel into it. We guarantee it will help you remove yourself out of those lower frequency situations and help you to connect in with everything and everyone. So it's brief, it's short, it's to the point, but my message, hopefully I've drove it home to you so you can understand and use this, again, this old technology of linking in with vibrational energy. And what you will find is that other words will have the potential to raise and shift your vibration, as will other words will have the ability to lower your vibration. So when you connect in on a vibrational level to the communications that you're having verbally, emotionally, visually, you'll have a new understanding of how to emit the vibrations of positivity, and it will see you editing your communications with others as you know, and you'll feel what vibration you're emitting to those around you with your words and intentions. So just be mindful, feel into a word, and trust the process. It's magic. That's why, as you probably heard many times before, that's why it's termed spelling with words, because you're casting a spell with the vibration behind the collections of words and the sounds that they produce. You're creating a spell out into the ether. So the next time you cast a spell in your communications without even realizing, feel into the vibration before emitting that communication, and you'll notice that your social interactions, your life, your vibration will all improve as a result of you taking that responsibility. Thank you for listening. I leave you my love. I leave you the team in Spirit's love. And we look forward to communicating with you very, very soon. Goodbye for now. Thank you.
Wow, what a fantastic communication there from the world of spirit, and very on point actually, with it being the 100th episode. Interesting to hear about communication, telepathy, and that we all ought to be using our minds with great more skill and ability, instead of filling it and cluttering it with nonsense that doesn't mean anything to us of any substance there as well. Nice to hear those tips and techniques in order to use this untapped technology of telepathy, connecting with others there, and obviously hearing the other communicator talking about love and the importance of it. And it's not just what we think it is, it's the invisible glue that binds us all together. It was absolutely fascinating to hear that. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading. So sit back, relax, bring a pen and paper, and listen and enjoy to this week's energy forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 25th of March 2024. Now, those of you that watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers, and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's energy forecast reading. And here we are, right and cue. So here's your card for this week's energy forecast reading. I'm now going to link into the vibration of that. First of all, I'm being told this week is going to be a very different one for you, as you're now taking the reins. In other words, you're taking that leadership role more so this week. You're going to be inundated with inspirational ideas that are going to help you to put your visions, your inspirations into the present moment consciousness, moving them into action, rather than them just being an idea form there as well. There's going to be a lot of people looking at you quite funny like that, saying, why do you want to do that? Asking the whys, and they can't understand how you've changed and why you're wanting to do things like this. I've been told to tell you, never mind, don't give your attention to the naysayers. Trust in the inspirations and the wisdom that you're getting. You'll also feel supercharged with this energy as well. It's like an itch that you need to scratch, so to speak. You will not be able to resist this energy that's pushing you forward until you've achieved and brought that very thing that you're wanting to manifest into your present moment reality there as well. Also, watch out with your physical health there. And what I'm being told in particular, it's not a very nice thing to talk about, but it's talking about your ablutions, your toilet department there. So it's talking about you'll find yourself this week actually going to the toilet more regularly than you usually do for both wastes, if that makes sense. And this is because you're going through a phase of detoxification. You're releasing some of those old energies, those old toxins from the physical and emotional body. So that's what's occurring. Nothing to concern yourself or worry about. However, at the time, you'll be a little bit annoyed that you're having to make these trips to the smallest room in the house, the bathroom there. But nevertheless, it's for the greater good there. I'm also being told that your heart chakra is also going to come into alignment more so this week. You've been given snippets of energetic, shall we say, unfoldments within your heart chakra. However, nothing as the magnitude that you will experience this week. There will be a level of calmness, tranquility, and also that exciting feeling of love and open and expansion there within the heart chakra. Again, it's something that you can't avoid. It's something that you can't suppress. You'll just feel it, and you'll feel that joy, and you'll be moving towards things that actually come into alignment with that joy, whether this is hobbies, places of interest, going to see different locations, or whether this is actually a person or your soulmate or your counterpart there. You'll just feel naturally magnetically drawn to these things that align with your heart vibration. So watch out for that this week as well. I'm also being aware that there's a need for you to keep in contact with family more so this week, as when you ask them, they say that they're all right. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm all right, as most people will do. However, you will pick up on an energetic frequency, on a feeling vibration, that there's something not quite adding up. Even though they're telling me that, I'm not feeling that. There's something that they're not expressing. I'm being told to tell you to trust your intuition, trust your gut instinct with this one, and keep tabs on family there. Make sure that I don't feel as though nothing untoward is going to unfold because you're one step ahead. You're picking up on those vibrations. However, you are to keep that contact going with family more so this week. I'm also being told that your taste is going to change. I'm talking about your taste buds there. There's going to be foods that you're going to be eating, particular favourite foods of yours that have been for many years. All of a sudden, this week, they'll have a different flavour to them than what they've had with you for many years. And it's going to put you off actually consuming those foods. So there's going to be a change in the physical diet, a very subtle one, but nevertheless you will spot it as well this week. So let's turn over the card, see what we have on the card. So at the top of the card it says Knight of Water. So to me that's talking about protection, it's talking about being resilient, and also let's take it the other direction, talking about a lack of sleep, too much going off in your mind, overactive mind there, and a time to maybe have a change of scenery, have some rest. Water would indicate going with the flow. It's talking about emotions as well. Talking about old emotions coming to the surface and letting them go. Water would also, like I say, would indicate currency, flow. Maybe finances are going to improve for you this week. Incremental steps is what I'm being told to tell you there as well. Underneath that, we have the words that say romantic, flirtations, introspective, and also enhancing as well. So with all of those things, I feel as though it's talking about the evolution of the heart chakra and how it's going to unfold there for you there. Let's read the inscription at the bottom. First of all, we've got the animal totem of the frog, so I'd like you to research that, as that will give you some more inspiration. But the first thing I'm being encouraged to tell you is a frog takes that leap of faith, doesn't it? So it jumps from one lily pad to the next. So he's talking about you taking a leap of faith. Maybe that is in connection with taking that leadership role more so this week there. So reading the inscription at the bottom, it reads, a deep emotional and profoundly romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Things can move very quickly during with a whirlwind endeavors. So stay balanced and make decisive with your breath, your heart, and your intellect. I tried my best there. My dyslexia was kicking in, so I do apologise if that was a little bit staggered there. Well, that's what the card reads. So very interesting. Also goes in alignment with what we were saying about the heart chakra opening up. and expanding and feeling that magnetic pull, that draw to things that align with your heart vibration. So taking a look into the card, we're going to have a look around the edge of the card. As you can see, we've got this lovely color of blue. That would indicate several things. One is talking about communication, your throat chakra, getting things off your chest, expressing to others. And also it's talking about your emotions as well. Your emotions coming up to the surface. So rather than bottling them up and keeping them stored within you, it's now time to communicate them openly and freely there. Obviously the blue represents water as well. So that's talking about flow. It's talking about financial flow, currency there as well. So also watch out for that this week. Taking a look into the artwork of the card, we have a frog, as you would expect there. So again, that's illustrating taking that leap of faith. Also the fact that you can, like a frog, it can survive in water and on land there as well. So it's talking about grounding your energies, but also having the ability to dive deep within your emotions rather than trying to avoid them, and then coming back and grounding and anchoring your energy in your present moment there as well. The fact that he's wearing a crown there also would indicate inspirational downloads coming in this week. So do watch out for that, like we were saying earlier, and act upon those inspirations when they come in. We've got a glass slipper there as well. So that reminds me of the, is it Cinderella as well? So maybe you're working too hard and you need to give yourself a little treat. You shall go to the ball there as well. And then there's a magic wand there as well. So that's talking about the manifestation process that you will discover more so this week once you allow yourself to float with that vibration there as well. There's also a butterfly, which would indicate transformation as well. And there's a ladybird. I'd like to research the animal totem of that. So that's what I picked up for you for this week's energy forecast reading. I have got a buy me a coffee link above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen and you would like to help and support the work that I do, all your donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do. If you'd like any of my spiritual services, head over to my website, www.glenboddice.spiritualmedium.com, and book in with me there, or find me on Facebook. Join me every Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now. Well, it sounds like we're all in for a very interesting week, doesn't it? I'm particularly excited, being a single man, with the romantic stirrings of the heart there, and also that leadership role. And it'd be interesting to see what spirit have in order. So personally, I'm looking forward to this week ahead. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. And again, just to underscore that it's the 100th episode, and I'm tremendously grateful to Spirit. I'm tremendously grateful to Pulse Talk Radio for allowing this show to be broadcasted every week and to share this love, light, this wisdom and healing energy that's interwoven within the frequencies of this show. So thank you, Pulse Talk Radio. If you do have any stories of a paranormal nature, or if you would like to share any of your spiritual encounters or your personal journey there, it would be fantastic to hear from you. And if you're happy for me to read them out on the show, I would love to do that there. And so you can contact me by going over to my website, www.glenboddice.spiritualmedium.com, or you can email me at glenboddice@live.co.uk. And again, it would be absolutely fantastic to make that connection with you. Maybe you could share your like I say, inspiration for the show, or, you know, some feedback on the show. That'd be wonderful to hear from you. Anyway, I wish you a wonderful week ahead. Whatever it is you're going to be doing, by the sounds of this week's energy forecast reading, it sounds like we're all in for a very interesting deep dive of a week, doesn't it there? So make sure, as the reading would suggest, make sure that you're stocked up on toilet roll and hand sanitizer there. Anyway, have a fantastic week. You can join me same place, same time on pulsetalkradio.com at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. Again, talking all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. Have a marvelous week, everybody. Take care. God bless. And bye for now. Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium